Okay, so I'm just going to briefly explain what I think about the government or the American crash. I just seen this video. 12-year-old girl gets it. Why don't you? I'm going to be putting on my health and fitness page. Just so you understand both sides. So I watched this video and I couldn't help but be so disturbed about how uneducated she is and how she's just getting the top information of how the banks and everything work. And she's basically teaching everybody that the government and banks are evil, which scares the living crap out of me, because not only is this little innocent 12-year-old girl not educated about how complex the banks, the economy, the whole entire country runs, and she's only preaching that the government and the banks are evil and they stole all the American people money. I don't know if the government is trying to teach everyone this so they have someone to blame, a safe keep mind to blame the government and to blame somebody. But there's so much more to it, and I feel sorry for this child's future to have that mindset going forward in the future. So I just want to explain my side of the theory. So, it's so complex. I would spend hours explaining it, but just to go over the gist of it. So people buy mortgages. They buy houses. They get mortgages. They get loans for cars. The economy in their city grow. The houses. The equity of your houses sometimes skyrockets $20,000 a year. Nobody wonders why they go up $20,000 a year. Nobody wonders, oh, I should not spend this money because there's a reason why our economy's skyrocketing. So that's the whole economy. That there's so much mathematics and science and stuff behind how that all works. Clearly, I'm not even educated enough to get in depth. I understand it, but to explain it, it's hard to. But anyways, everything goes up. Rents go up. The economy goes up. Taxes go up. More schools are built. Our stadiums are built. Hospitals are being renovated. So many things in your city are growing, and also your house, your equity is growing. So just to explain a little bit, people's houses' equity grows. They have an extra 100,000 in equity in their house. Some people sell it, some people pull that out, some people keep that in their bank, which really hurts the economy because people become selfish. They hold on to that $100,000 that doesn't grow anymore. That affects the economy because now $100,000 is put into someone's pocket instead of redistributed around. Also, like when people pull that money out, it doesn't get distributed. Also, people don't consider, they put all this equity and take all this money out, and they don't consider how much of their monthly payment goes up. There's just so much factors. I lost my train of thought of what I was going to say, but and that's how this crash becomes, because so many people take money out, then the government has to borrow money to compensate for that 100,000 that somebody put away in their bank. It's too many greedy people at a time, affecting the economy. Just so many things going on. One person spends too much money, they go bankrupt. So many variables in the city and the country all together crash. And that's why equity crashes, because money is just afloat. Money, the way the government made our money system and our taxes is to help everyone be equal, to help everyone be able to buy a house, to have low interest rates so everybody can buy houses. Although not everybody could, but the majority of people, just to make everybody equal. And that's what happens. Too many people not educated. This is where I was trying to get to. So these people, so many people are blaming the government and the banks for being frauds and stealing everybody's money and I'm reading so much plain monopoly with everybody's money. First of all, this child I'm talking about, for instance, let's just say an example. Say her parents lost the house. They bought a house. They put $40,000 into it, and their house went up $100,000. They pulled that $100,000 out. They played Monopoly with their own money. This household, this family played Monopoly with their own money because they knew, yeah, the economy's growing, everything's growing in our city, my house is growing, but nobody really paid attention to, what if it goes down again? What if it goes down that $100,000 again? How am I going to have a back plan and safeguard my family if this happens? So many people didn't do that when it went down a little bit, so many people got scared, so many people gave their houses up, the banks got overflowed with their debt on all this money, and that's how the economy crashed. So many people being uneducated, pulling all that money out of the bank without having a safeguard or being educated enough to protect your family for any worst case possible. That's what crashed the country. And this is just this is just the icing of the cake. There's so much more that government, economists, so much smarter people work out, and not even they're geniuses. It's just sad to be able to see so many people hopeless for the future from not being educated or turning a blind eye and not understanding and explaining the whole truth behind it. I could see so many parents, and you know what, this is the truth, but I just want to say it because it's the truth, and you might take me as a bad person for it, but so many parents I could see doing this, playing Monopoly with their money, pulling all this equity out, not having a safeguard for it, and then telling their child that the government and banks stole their money, and diluting their mind that the government is evil and the banks are evil. So just to plant that seed in a child's mind is going to ruin the world, and nobody's going to want to fight to make regulations and the world a better place because one uneducated thought. And the real reason why these parents blame the government is because they were too ashamed to understand the real factors behind it, that they should have been more aware of how the things work, reading the papers, educating on how the inflation goes up, how equity goes up and down, and that's where the Americans went wrong. And I think Canada is a lot smarter because we're truthful and we say it how it is. But at the same time, I think some Canadians are going that way. So I just want to say that because I hate when evil words are spread and uneducated people spread evil throughout the country, and it just makes everything worse. So I hope you guys understand that and take it in. I know I didn't explain it the best, but you know what? I've read over 5 books just on Rich Dad Poor Dad, and many more on top of that. I'm also reading The Inequality of America, I believe it is. And I'm reading it, and honestly an economist wrote it, and this book is wrong. This economist is basically explaining the same thing this girl's explaining, and you know what? It just shows how many even the smartest people can be uneducated and be so school dumb. They could be so dumbified from the books that they don't look at the whole picture and realize everything as a whole. And that's where I'm trying to get at. And I will talk about that book because some points really disturb me too, on the way they're educating people that way. But you know what? I guess that's life. People educate some people are smarter, some people aren't. People educate. You just have to filter out what's right and what's wrong. So that's what I'm trying to get across. Just educate yourself and have common sense. And the only way to get common sense is learning and learning and learning and taking every point of view and putting it into action. Okay, well, I hope you guys read some books and educate, and I hope this inspired you for generations, for the future, for your kids, for faith, for hope. And I hope you enjoyed. All right.